The Consumer Protection Act, which I think struck terror into all of us who practice in the professions, is not that new. It doesn't contain such dramatic principles, save with regard to what's called strict liability for defective products, which doesn't really impact on psychiatry to that extent unless you are dispensing psychiatrists. You dispense medication, and we'll come to that if there are any of you that do that. Secondly, it provides a cost-free form of redress for consumers via the National Consumer Tribunal. So a disgruntled consumer doesn't have to run off to an expensive lawyer like me to get redress to assistance. They can go to the National Consumer Tribunal. It has all sorts of interesting provisions which are not directly relevant to the practice of psychiatry, but I'll just deal with that towards the end of the talk if there's time, as to how it can benefit you in your practice with regard to rental and goods which you may purchase and so on and so forth. I think the major impact is that it draws into the Act the common law principles involved in informed consent, because that's what it's all about. Those of us who render services, we're not selling goods by and large, we're rendering services, and we're all obliged more and more now to pay special attention to the concept of informed consent. Secondly, it brings in the Bill of Rights, the numerous provisions of the Bill of Rights, the right to dignity, the right to proper health care, and so on, and I'll allude to those shortly in detail. And having done that, it also alludes to the National Health Act, which is a very far-reaching act, and if you've read it, you will have had regard to the specific principles, because the days of physician-centered patient care, where the physician is a demigod, that's gone. And throughout the world, it's now patient-centered healthcare. The patient is a partner in his or her care. The patient is entitled to be made aware of the choices which are available, the risks and benefits of various range of choices. Very importantly, the right to a second opinion. And I can't tell you how many physicians have saved themselves from major litigation by saying to the patient, where it's appropriate, Mr. Brown, Ms. Brown, I believe you should get a second opinion. If you don't have knowledge as to where to go, I can recommend you a couple of physicians whom I have confidence in, and you can go there for another opinion before you decide on what may be a controversial or unorthodox or new modality of treatment.